So I spent 1 crore 16 lakh plus on Facebook ads and made over 400% return on investment. And in this video, I'm going to break down step by step exactly how I did that. My name is Rohan Dhawan and I'm the founder and CEO of Uability. I'm also known as India's most honest marketer. And essentially what we do is we help with people and clients like yourself to generate high ticket clients. And so far we have actually served around 800 people or even more, and we have helped them do crores and crores in sales. And the reason why I share these videos is because there are a lot of people who have a lot of talent, but they are unable to actually reach out to their clients, and they are unable to actually sell their advice or services globally. So I personally believe that talent should not have borders. So hopefully you gain some value out of these videos, and maybe someday you decide to become a client of ours. So that being said, I don't want to waste more of your time. Let's just get straight into the content and let's talk about some of the lessons that I learned after spending, this amount. To be honest, I spent a lot more than what I'm saying right now. If you combine the amount I spent with my clients, their ad accounts, and then the amount that I spent on YouTube and the other channels out there. But the point is that, I've been doing this for a long period of time, and clearly I think the best way to actually learn is to spend money and actually do it and gain some experience. And hopefully in this video, you will be able to avoid a lot of the mistakes that I made when I was getting started with this journey, or even, halfway through it. So the first tip that I want to share with you, or like the first epiphany moment that I actually had, was that it's not so much about targeting any technical work as compared to, just writing a better ad. So what do I mean by this? Well, back when I was getting started, especially with digital marketing, what a lot of people told me is that, Rohan, you should, know every single thing. You should know about bidding. You should know about cost control. You should know about lookalike audiences. You should know about custom audiences. You should know about this, that, and all these technical words were being thrown at me. So naturally, I assumed that in order to make a campaign successful on Facebook or basically any kind of platform out there, we need to know about these technical terms and we need to play around with that. So I spent a lot of my time, in fact, majority of my time, playing with these knobs and numbers and all that stuff. So I used to care about, setting the right kind of bid. So, maybe if I set the right bid, I will be able to get, cheaper cost per lead. Or maybe if I try this special type of audience, or maybe if I try this special type of technique that I learned on some sort of blog, suddenly the performance of my ads will actually go up and my lead costs will actually go down. And I was so wrong because, I also focused on things like, figuring out the best landing page software, figuring out the best email marketing software, split testing different kind of landing pages, and, changing the colors and all that stuff. So I tried all sorts of these things and none of them worked as well as what I'm about to share. So what really worked well for me is writing better ads and writing better ad copy, creating better images and videos, and just, having a great offer in general. So what do I mean by this? Well, after trying all these things, after all of them had actually failed, what I decided to do is I decided to do something completely different. Okay, so I recorded this, series of ads, and I wrote this copy. So they were these copies and this ad used to go against all the conventional wisdom that I had received before. So what I did was, number one, people used to say that, Rohan, write shorter ad copies because, they convert a lot better as compared to longer ad copies. So I did something completely different. Rather than writing a short ad copy, I wrote a very long copy. And then the next thing that I did was people used to say that, Rohan, you should be very professional in your presentation. You should keep it serious. You should talk about your results. You should talk about, just wear a suit or maybe a tie and, showcase like you're such a big consultant or whatnot. And I decided to do completely different. I created a 30-35 minute video and it was just pure mockery, right? We were just doing entertainment stuff. We had some skits and we were just explaining our market, about the things that we knew in a much more fun way. So we decided to do things completely different, and we just improved our ad copies, and we just improved our ads, and trust me, just by making these changes, our ad performance just significantly went up. Like literally, we created these ads round about in October 2020, and till date they are running and producing astonishing results for us that I still just cannot imagine, because all this took us literally a day or two to film. But this time we decided to be completely different from the marketplace. We decided to not do what everybody else was doing, and we just were able to convey our message a lot better to our audience than everybody else combined. So this helped me a lot than playing with my targeting or playing with my bidding strategy or playing with my landing page. If I just write better ads that my market likes, then my costs will be better than all my competitors. This goes against the conventional advice that you might get, or the things that you keep seeing on YouTube, the top 3 ways to reduce your cost per lead by changing some buttons here and there. Trust me, I tried all that stuff, but just write better ads that your market likes, and that'll perform way better. The second strategy that I would like to share with you and this kind of like goes in context with the point that I shared earlier. In order to actually be different from the crowd, and in order to create better ads, what you need to do is you need to do consistent test, right? So what we do is now every Monday, a marketing team will decide all the best ideas that they think that are innovative and they are really different from the marketplace, and we would just go out and spend 10% of our budget doing these mini tests every Monday, and then we would run them for a week or so, see their performance, and see if they are able to outperform our control funnel. This means our main funnels that we have, or the main marketing that we are doing. Can these split tests or can these mini tests that we are doing every Monday, can they outperform our main funnel? And these tests include the most unconventional things, like just the best way to think about it is just look at what your competitors are doing and just don't do it, or just do completely opposite. And trust me, that's like the best strategy that you can apply, that will really just make you stand out from the crowd. So we do these mini tests, whether they are testing a different kind of landing page, whether it's testing a new ad copy, whether it's testing a different kind of image or a video, and we do this every Monday. And what most people think is, oh, Rohan's such a small test, like how would that really make a difference, right? 10%, like does that really matter? What you don't understand is that you don't understand compounding, okay? So if you take this into a period of 1 year, let's say, and you do this test every Monday, just imagine how much insights you will have and what all you would have learned as compared to all of your competitors. And you can then use that knowledge and those learnings in order to go out and just be different and spend a lot more money on ads and get better results. The third thing that I learned is about rising cost per lead. Now, when we initially started advertising on Facebook, we were paying around about 16 rupees cost per click, and now our cost per click is around like 30-40 rupees, right? And that's completely fine because we are still profitable. But the problem is that this trend will keep on going on. So what I started noticing is, after you have tried out different kind of ads and you really stand out from the competition, if your cost per lead, you might notice like, okay, Rohan, this tip really helped me reduce my costs, really helped me get some phenomenal results. But how do I actually take this even, one step forward? Well, what I learned is that, when you're in a market, right, especially a niche market, and you are advertising, over time, more and more players will start entering that market. So when I started out, there were not a lot of people doing consulting and coaching. And now there's like everybody else, like I'm sure there's this guy who launched this company called Self-Ability. So that being said, what's happening is, over time, as your ads get better, people start copying and pasting them and literally start, using them in their ad copy. And as a result, your costs start going up. So what you must realize is that on Facebook, they're just, certain number of people, that's your target audience, right? And once they have seen that ad creative again and again, and when they start seeing other people do something similar, you need to be different again. And what you need to do is you need to refresh your ads again and again and make sure that you're bringing out fresh content to this target audience. Otherwise, if they keep saying the same stuff from you and then other people are copying you and then they're seeing that stuff over there, they would naturally stop engaging with your ads. So the best thing that I can do or I would recommend doing is, consistently keep refreshing, keep showing something different to your marketplace. So what we learned is that, every once a year, we need to refilm our funnel, or we need to redo another type of marketing. Maybe it could be a different set of ads, or maybe it could be a different funnel altogether, because within a one year of period, our audience has already seen a lot of stuff, and now they want to see something different. They want to see a refreshed version of the message that you're trying to actually bring across, and that's what they want to see. So that's why every year, in addition to the mini test that we are doing Monday, we do a complete refresh from all the knowledge that we got by doing those mini tests, or every Monday, whatever insights we get by doing those mini tests for 1 year period, we then use them collectively and create something brand new altogether, which basically refreshes our marketing and allows people to see something, awesome. And as a result, they're like, wow, these people have now launched something new. Even though it might be based around the same messaging, people like to see new stuff, and as a result, your cost per lead and your cost will go down again. So now that you have basically launched new ads and new creatives, you have actually refreshed your marketing every year, and you still want to actually decrease your ad costs, what I would recommend doing is increase the size of your audience, right? So if you are like super niche, right? Let's say you are trying to work with only, let's say companies doing 300 crores a year, right? Now you had like a very very specific kind of marketing. Now chances are that those audiences have actually seen your message again and again, and now your cost is just rising, and you're slowly, gradually tapping out of audience on that particular platform. Now what you can do is either expand to another platform. Let's say, if you're doing Facebook, you can expand to YouTube, and that's like what we did to find new set of audiences. Or what you can do is you can start going in the general category, or much more broader category, so that you can start helping people like a little bit broader in that category. So for example, if you are exclusively working with solar companies doing 300 crores a year, right? Then in that case, if you want to really expand your market, maybe you will have to target people who are, let's say, doing 100 to 200 CR a year in the solar business, or eventually under 100 CR a year. And then eventually, once you even tap out of that, you will have to expand to an opportunity where you are teaching people, or you're helping people to start a solar business from scratch, and let's say, achieve their first 10 CR. So you have to keep going broader and broader in order to, expand your marketing. So that's a strategy that's used by a lot of people. I personally didn't want to do that because I just don't want to work with a broader audience. I just want to work with less people, a specific group of people. So what I did was I just expanded my channel. So rather than just advertising on Facebook, we advertise on other platforms as well. We are able to find the number of people that we want to work with every month. We just work with them. Our acceptance rate is 4%, and we make a lot of money. So that's like the strategy that I prefer. But if you want, and if you don't want to do that, maybe you want to just work with like, a broader market. So keep expanding your horizons every time you cap out your market on a particular platform, or just find another platform in addition to what you're using. So one good strategy that really worked well for us is basically, if you want to expand your audience as well, like one strategy that really worked well for us is taking all our winning audiences that had been proven to work, and then just putting them all together into one audience, and then just running it. And that just produced like phenomenal results for us, right? Because now it becomes like from a 1 lakh to 5 lakh to audience to like, a million, 2 million people, or 5 million people audience, which allows us to reach more and more people. So that being said, the last thing that I want to talk about is making sure that you are able to track your ads properly, and you are able to send the right kind of data back to Facebook. Now, what most people do is they try to, operate blindly on Facebook. And by this, I mean that, imagine like you're flying a plane, right? Would you fly a plane without knowing where exactly you're going? You won't do that, right? Without a navigation. Or imagine you're trying to drive a car and your windshield is like covered with snow or fog and you can't see. Would you drive the car? Of course not, because you don't know where exactly you're heading to, right? So what most people do is they try to operate ads blindly, and what they do is they believe the numbers that Facebook is telling them, on the screen. If Facebook says, oh my, your cost per lead is like 50, they're like, oh, they actually believe that data. But the fact of the matter is that, Facebook reports majority of the data incorrectly. That's why most people are flying blind, right? So what I recommend doing is installing some sort of like tracking system that you can. The best thing and the cheapest thing that you can do is use something called as UTM parameters. You can Google about that. It's pretty easy to set up, and through that you will be able to track which ad is producing what kind of sale. Now, what most people do is they try to judge ads based on the lead cost. But the fact is that, the lead cost doesn't really matter, does it? Because imagine this, right? Let's say you sell something for 1 lakh rupees and your lead cost is 5,000 rupees, right? And you get this one lead who ends up paying you 1 lakh rupees. So you just spent 5,000 rupees to make 1 lakh rupees. Just imagine that, right? Now, as compared to, let's say you get a lead cost of 10 rupees and you get like, let's say 10 leads, right? So you just spend very less, like what you spend like 100 rupees for 10 leads at 10 rupees. And let's say none of them buy, right? So what's the point of having those leads that were cheap when you got one lead for 5,000 rupees that was able to pay you the price that you want? So don't optimize on, the cost per lead. Actually set up proper tracking, within your company or within your ads manager, so that you can see which ad is producing what sale. So if I can know that ad 1 produced me sale worth 1 lakh rupees and I spent only 5,000 rupees on it, I can then spend more money on that particular ad, which will allow me to scale my business and be very, very efficient. So I hope that makes sense. Like, the best way to put it is, imagine if you have stocks portfolio. If you don't know if HDFC is performing well or ICICI is performing well and you can't see the numbers, right? How would you know which to put money on? Should you bet on HDFC? Should you bet on ICICI? It's very difficult to judge. So definitely set up tracking, and by doing so, it's just going to help your business a lot, and it's going to allow you to run ads much more efficiently and effectively, because now you know which horse to bet money on. So that's that. And it's like a lot more complex than this, and it can't be summarized in like 2 minutes or something. Like there are concepts like conversion API also being launched, which allows you to send the data back to Facebook correctly. All this stuff I actually talk about in my program, which is called as Usability Elite. If you are ever interested, feel free to check the link in the description and you can book a call with my team, and we could get all this set up for you. Like, we have already made it. We'll just import it in your system and bam, it's like done. So, you can do all these things, but by doing so, I'm sure, like, if you follow all these steps and you follow the best one that I gave, like just write better ads, I'm sure that you will be able to reduce your costs, you will be able to get more sales, and you will be able to make a better return on investment than a lot of your competitors. So yeah, and just remember that, the money that I spent, like, this was just on one product. I'm not even talking about our upsell sales, right? So that's how you can actually go about making a lot of money on ads. And these are the top lessons that I learned from spending over 1 crore plus on Facebook ads. So I hope this lesson was helpful. If you liked it, do let me know your feedback. I would be happy to make another video on YouTube ads or any other platform that I use if you let me know in the comments below. So do share your thoughts, and finally, just like, comment and subscribe, because if you do that, it'll encourage me to make more videos like such and share my knowledge with you and take out time and, do all this stuff. Like, it takes efforts. Like, this light, like, it's really bothering me, man. It's like burning. And I have to speak, and then you have to edit this stuff. It's a lot of work as compared to launching ads. So that being said, I appreciate that you watched this video till the end, and yeah, feel free to let me know what you would like to see next in the comments below. And if you don't like this stuff, then also let me know so that I can improve. So thanks again. Rohan Dhawan here. Bye bye.